How's it going, Mike Shipson? How's it going? This is Monsters Review here, and hopefully my audio settings sound a little bit better. I tried to adjust the audio settings a little bit, and I got a new pop filter, so hopefully it sounds more clear. So today is going to be my first ever Cartoon Network rant. I've been waiting a long time to do this. I finally gathered enough information to do this. I'm ready to, I guess, say what I think is wrong that Cartoon Network is currently doing and what they need to change. And this rant will have 4 sections. The first one will be programming. The second will be bumpers, promos, and era. The next will be merchandising. And the last will be miscellaneous. So, first off, let me just start off by saying that if Cartoon Network is watching this, I have seen Cartoon Network from my own eyes for almost 20 years. And I've seen several rants that are similar to this. And I'm just basically trying to say that most of the things that I've seen that people want to change in rants haven't changed. They haven't been solved. They haven't happened. And since I've watched Cartoon Network for most of your entire history, please value my opinion and try to change these things, because I'm on a lot of forums and stuff, and a lot of my friends do like Cartoon Network, and they still watch Cartoon Network. But I pretty much know what they want, and most of the things that I'm about to mention is what a lot of the community wants that watches Cartoon Network. So, also, this is going to be a pretty long rant. So if you have something to do, like if you want to clean your room or if you have some homework to do, I know that this is summertime, but if someone's watching this video at a later time, if you just have something to do and you want to hear me out, listen to my opinion, I'd recommend just, get busy or whatever, because this is going to be pretty time consuming, and I think that this rant's going to be really good, so you might want to stick around and get what you have to get done now while you're doing this, so that you don't have to worry about it later or whatever. And also, in the comments below, you can feel free to comment your opinions on whatever you have to say or whatever. But what I don't want happening is I don't want people telling I don't want people telling other people that their opinions are wrong. I think that that's just wrong in general, because everyone has different opinions, and they have different tastes on everything, and that's what makes the world go round. And it's not right to judge people and tell them that their opinion is wrong and leave all these nasty comments because they don't agree with you. So if you don't agree with me, or if you don't agree with another viewer watching this, just comment and say, if someone says, like, I like Billy and Mandy, if you don't like Billy and Mandy or whatever, either you don't have to respond to the comment at all, or just you can say, I don't like Billy and Mandy because I don't like Fred Burger. Like, you don't just, leave nasty comments just swearing and saying, my poop watches Billy and Mandy, or just, like, leave a nasty comment like that. I don't even know. But just don't start a nasty comment war, please. I really try to avoid all that stuff. And also, if you can show some appreciation for this rant, I put a lot of time and effort into this, please leave a like below. So, let's get started. So, the first topic, and probably the biggest topic of them all, will be programming. So, first off, I just feel that Cartoon Network is airing what they think that we want to watch, but they don't know what we want. That's basically the main general idea that I think that really Cartoon Network has it on right now. Either that, or they just want to air what they think that will attract the most viewers. You see, Cartoon Network didn't used to be like that. Cartoon Network used to air what the viewers wanted. They used to air, what the viewers, it's basically, yeah, they aired what the viewers wanted. Like, if you want to know how Conan Kids Next Door got on air, it was actually originally a pilot. I think it was on World Premiere Tunes, but it was a pilot, and Cartoon Network had a poll for it online, and it was voted like the favorite pilot, so it became a TV show. They don't do things like that anymore. They secretly discuss all this stuff in their meeting room, and they decide what shows are going to be on. Um, but honestly, I do think that the programming is actually getting kind of a little bit better in a way. In some ways. But I still think that I'm not very satisfied with what they're doing right now. Because they did narrow down the live action shows down to one. I don't know if you'd really consider Annoying Orange one, but now the only live action show is Incredible Crew. Incredible Crew is basically a sketch comedy show that's kind of like Saturday Night Live or So Random that used to be on Disney, but it's basically a sketch comedy show, but it has a little bit more creativity to it because there's like CGI animation and stuff, and they go outside and they prank random people. I don't know if that's like staged or not, but they have all these sketches and stuff, and they do parodies of all this stuff. But I do not like the Cartoon Network live action shows in general. I just don't like it. I honestly don't think that the shows are that bad. Like if they're on and nothing else good is on, I might as well just watch them. But I honestly did not like them that much. But I would prefer cartoons over this stuff any day. I did enjoy some shows, but like the only show I did enjoy was Brain Rush. Brain Rush was a show where basically there's this dude, he was the host, and he went to an amusement park, and he just met these random kids, and basically he'd go on a roller coaster with the kids, and he'd ask them certain questions, like trivia and stuff, and like each question would have a cash value, and how many questions they got right meant they won cash prizes, but if they succeeded the first round, they'd go on to the second round, then they'd go on to the third round, which was like the biggest one. In each round, the roller coaster would get more intense. But I really did enjoy that show. That was my favorite show out of all of the live action Cartoon Network shows. But unfortunately, it was canceled for low ratings, and this show was very short-lived. It only had, I believe, 6 episodes. That's very, very short. 6 episodes for a TV show. Ah, gosh. It's just because, in general, I remember, Internet Movie Database gave it, a 1.5 out of 10 stars or something like that. It had really low ratings. I have no idea why. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was really entertaining and funny, and I don't know if it's me, but I really do enjoy, that trivia stuff. I enjoy watching Jeopardy sometimes. But yeah, it's too bad that show got canceled. That was one of the first Cartoon Network real shows, and it was, I think, probably the first one to get canceled. There was also Survive This. Well, actually, all these other shows that I'm about to mention, I didn't think were very original. Survive This was basically a show where there was a bunch of kids that had to survive out in the wild and use what they had around them to survive. It's basically like Survivor Man, or not Survivor Man. It was basically like Survivor, like a reality show with a bunch of teenagers, but except Survivor is adults. That's not very original. They also had the Othersiders, which was basically a team of kids that hunted ghosts. Pretty much the same thing as Ghost Hunters. Then there was Bobby Says, which is basically a kid-friendly version of America's Funniest Videos. It was kind of like, Tosh.0 or Ridiculous or America's Funniest Videos. It's just not as humorous. It was just more, watch clips. Honestly, I did enjoy, a few episodes of The Story Built the Story and Dude, What Would Happen? But for the most part, I wanted more cartoons. There was also Out of Jimmy's Head, and I did enjoy that for some reason. I really enjoyed it. It started from a movie, I think it was called Reanimated or something like that. Basically, there's this boy named Jimmy, and he thinks that there's all, these animated creatures around them. I remember there being, a squirrel and a crocodile, and they're really funny and humorous and stupid. And there was this one dude that thought he was crazy. I forgot. It was on a while ago. but I did enjoy that. It became a series. I believe the series didn't last that long either. And there was also Tower Prep and Unnatural History. I never really watched too much of that show, so I can't really give my opinion on it because I don't really recall watching any episodes of it. I think I only watched one or two. But I remember that they were really popular in the fan community. Like, I used to always see people post on Facebook about Tower Prep and stuff. Then there's Level Up, which recently ended. That started from a movie again. It was basically these kids that play all these video games, or this one video game, and all these monsters from the video game came into the real world, and they had to beat them using all these weird guns with like lasers and rays and stuff. And there was all this weird stuff. I didn't watch the movie or I didn't watch the TV show. I think I only watched like a part of an episode. So I'm not really too experienced with that show anyways, but that recently ended. And then there's The Annoying Orange, which I would consider a live action show because the only animation in Annoying Orange is like the movements that the fruit make. I'd consider it live action because the creator of the show stars as Orange. You know, it has their faces on the fruit, and plus Toby Turner's in there, and plus it's filmed on a live set and a green screen. So it is live action, I guess. There's very, very little animation. I'd consider it most to be video effects, you know, really good video editing and effects. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. They just do a lot of editing and effects. But I don't like Annoying Orange on Cartoon Network. I used to love the Annoying Orange YouTube videos. I don't know why they would want to do that. Like, why they would want to make it into a TV show. Like, I understand what they're trying to come from, but on Cartoon Network it's just ridiculous. Why would they want to do something like that? On Cartoon Network they have to make it so that like they have to target a certain audience of children. Plus they can't do the crazy humor that they used to do. As I remember, I'm pretty sure that in the Annoying Orange videos on YouTube they used to swear. They used to use like a more slacky sense of humor. It was more simple. I just feel that on the show they've taken the idea and they've expanded it way too far. Like, they're doing parodies of James Bond. They're putting them in like a zombie apocalypse scenario. It's like ridiculous. Like the YouTube videos that he used to be in, it was just Annoying Orange antagonizing other fruit and making them mad until the other fruit got like somehow sliced or diced by like a knife, or they got blended or something like that. But I don't even like. And here it's just like the orange isn't even annoying anymore. They might as well just call it The Adventures of Orange or something, because he's not really annoying anymore. It's just it more focuses on the storyline rather than, you know, the annoying orange. He's not even annoying anymore. It's ridiculous. Like, he used to make all these corny jokes in the videos. He doesn't do like anything anymore. The only thing that's like annoying now, I guess, is the laugh, but the laugh is not annoying now because everybody got used to it. Like, it's not even funny because you just know that laugh. It just like it. Have you ever had the experience of when something comes up at like first it's really funny, but over time once you see it over and over and over again, it's less and less funny? Kind of like that. But I don't really know how to explain it. I just feel that Annoying Orange, the TV show, has gone too off storyline, and the idea is a little bit too complex and not as mainstream as the YouTube videos. I like the YouTube videos a lot more than the TV show. But this will be the biggest topic of the programming section. And this topic is original programming. Cartoon Network lacks original programming very much. The only current Cartoon Network cartoons that are original, made in Cartoon Network studios, are Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gumball, and the Ben 10 franchise. The current Ben 10 show is Ben 10 Omniverse. But I think that they're probably going to get rid of Ben 10 too, because honestly, the Ben 10 idea is a little bit stale. I stopped watching Ben 10 shortly after Alien Force started. I just feel like, again, they've taken the idea a little bit too far. You know, they just keep on coming up with all these ideas, but the episodes I don't find entertaining anymore. It's just, I used to like the original Ben 10, where it was Ben and he was 10 years old and he had just those original 10 aliens on the Omnitrix, and it was Gwen and his grandpa, and they were traveling in the RV around. I used to like those classic episodes. They have those on Boomerang now, I believe, but I like that. Like, really, they've just taken it way too far, I think. They've made like 2 movies, one live action, one CGI. They made Ben 10, Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Alien X, now Ben 10 Omniverse. There's probably even more shows to come. But, yeah, I haven't really watched any of them recently. I tried to watch Ben 10 Omniverse, but I didn't really like it that much. I did like the original Ben 10, though. I really liked that. But Cartoon Network used to mostly be original programming, if you think about it. Like, in the early 2000s, everything. Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dexter's Lab, Cow and Chicken, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Codename Kids Next Door, Mike Jim Partner's a Monkey, Camp Lazlo, Sheep in the Big City. Everything was all original, and Oh, Johnny Bravo, Samurai Jack, Foster's Home, Powerpuff Girls. I can just name those on and on and on forever. Just so many shows. Cartoon Network used to pretty much only air original programming back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, but except for when Cartoon Network started out, they used to only air shows from the Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera library, such as Looney Tunes and Flintstones. Because I remember they signed an agreement with Hanna-Barbera that let them have their cartoons, and Turner Broadcasting recently received the... Well, they didn't recently. Like, I'm talking about it from the perspective of someone that was in, like, 1992. But they received the rights to all of Warner Brothers cartoons to air on TV. And that's why they created the Cartoon Network, an only cartoon, all day, every day network, TV channel. You know what I mean? And yeah, all of those were original Cartoon Network cartoons except for the Looney Tunes and Flintstones, which I just mentioned. And I'd consider probably my favorite cartoons that have ever been on Cartoon Network were original. I would consider Ed, Ed and Eddie to be an original cartoon because it was mostly a co-production with Cartoon Network. They may say it was only produced by AKA Studios in Canada, but I believe that it is an original Cartoon Network cartoon. It was the original, or not the original. It was the longest running Cartoon Network cartoon. It ran for 10 years, 1999 to 2009, and it was probably the fan favorite. Ed, Ed and Eddie is amazing. It's too bad they had to end it. But yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that. My favorites are probably, like, I'm not saying that they didn't have any good acquired programs. I'm just saying that my favorites were the original programs. And, what I have to say is that it's pretty sad that now more than double the amount of original programming on Cartoon Network is not original. There's 9 acquired programs on Cartoon Network, and there's only 4 original programs. That's pretty sad, because there only used to be like 1 or 2 acquired programs, and it used to be all either original, or it used to be a Warner Bros. Or Hanna-Barbera cartoon that they used to air. It's just, And I recently checked, there's 3 upcoming original cartoons, which are Steven Universe, Clarence, and what was the other one? It was Uncle Grandpa. And there is 6 upcoming acquired programs to Cartoon Network. That is honestly just ridiculous. Double the amount of original programming coming to Cartoon Network is all acquired. Cartoon Network used to be all original, cartoons. Those were the best. They don't even have cartoons anymore. It's all like, it's a mess. Cartoon Network is not what it used to be. It's all not original. It's basically Cartoon Network just doesn't want to do anything themselves, and they all have other people do a bunch of shows for them. Cartoon Network Studios used to be massive. They used to have every single great show docked in that station. Now there's only 4 shows that take up the whole entire building of Cartoon Network Studios, except for the people that make the bumpers and the promos. Now I think they even hire people that aren't Cartoon Network to do the bumpers and promos and the artwork and stuff. But now they just have a bunch of shows from Canada and other Warner Brothers, just other cartoon makers. I do enjoy a few acquired programs, though. Like, an upcoming acquired program is Totally Spies. They're bringing back that for season 7. I do enjoy that. I enjoy the Total Drama Island series. I did not like a few of them. Like, I did not enjoy Total Drama Revenge of the Island, or I didn't enjoy Total Drama Island, or Total Drama Action. But I enjoyed the first Total Drama Island, and I enjoyed Total Drama World Tour. I think that they're having a new one called Total Drama All-Stars that's coming up, and I'm going to check that out because I heard it's going to feature people from Revenge of the Island and the original Total Drama Island cast. But Cartoon Network, it's just not original anymore. They have 9 acquired programs right now, and they only have 4 original. Those 9 programs include Johnny Test and all those Pokemon, Beyblade, all that stuff. People are wondering why they don't end Pokemon already, because there's new generations of Pokemon that come. Not only is because Pokemon originates from Japan, it's not Cartoon Network that's affecting that. It's the people in Japan that are making. It's just that Cartoon Network wants to keep on airing all these new Pokemon series because it's a big money maker. When I was a kid, I used to love Pokemon. I know to this day I know a bunch of little kids that love Pokemon. If Cartoon Network stopped airing Pokemon and they gave the rights to Nickelodeon or something, Nickelodeon would be even more successful, and Cartoon Network would lose even more business. Nickelodeon's even doing more successful now because they have the rights to Power Rangers, Winx Club, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and kind of like SpongeBob too. If Nickelodeon lost SpongeBob, they'd lose a lot of their profits too, because again, SpongeBob is a fan favorite. But off that topic, I just want to say that I'm going to explain a little bit more about this original programming stuff inside the next sections to come, because it has to do with the next sections. But basically, I just want to say that, long story short, Cartoon Network needs some more original programming to regain its success. Due to a lack of original programming, Cartoon Network has lost a lot of its workers, I guess. I don't know if you'd call them worker, but we lost Genndy Tartakovsky to Sony, and he went off to direct Hotel Transylvania, which is like a blockbuster film. Then we lost Maxwell Adams, the creator of Evil Con Carne and The Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy, to Disney, and now he works on Fish Hooks, another successful show. We lost Craig McCracken, the creator of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and the Powerpuff Girls, to Disney. We lost Thorpe Van Orman, the creator of Flapjack, to Nickelodeon, where he co-created Sanjay and Craig. We lost Butch Hartman, the creator, he didn't do anything that much at Cartoon Network. He worked more on world premiere tunes, but he left Cartoon Network and he went off to create Tough Puppy, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Danny Phantom down at Nickelodeon. And you see, all these great opportunities could have happened at Cartoon Network, but we lost all of these because we decided to turn down all these original programming ideas. I remember Maxwell Adams said that he wanted to do some new series on Cartoon Network. If you don't remember Underfist, that was a spin-off of Billy and Mandy that premiered in 2008, I believe, but It was like a Halloween special, people call it. It wasn't an actual Billy and Mandy episode. It was supposed to be a spin-off of Billy and Mandy. That was supposed to become its own series. Well, at least Maximal Adams wanted it to be its own series, but it never did become its own series. Cartoon Network turned it down. And, we lost all these great opportunities. It would have been awesome if there was a spin-off of Billy and Mandy. We just need another show like World Premiere Toons, because World Premiere Toons gave animators the opportunity to create all these creative shorts. In World Premiere Toons, some of the shorts were the Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Codename Kids Next Door, Johnny Bravo. I believe also even Family Guy was part of a short on there. Because Seth MacFarlane used to work down at Cartoon Network. He went off to Fox, where he created Family Guy, Cleveland Show, and American Dad. But I believe that the idea of Family Guy spawned from one of the World Premiere Toons. And this whole World Premiere Toons show was created by Fred Siebert. And he went off also to create... He's the head of Frederator Studios. He doesn't really do that much with Cartoon Network anymore. The only thing that he does is Adventure Time, because Adventure Time is with a co-production with Frederator Studios. But he works a lot with Nickelodeon now, and he had a show on Nicktoons Network, now it's called Nicktoons, called Random Cartoons. And it was basically the same thing as World Premiere Toons. And Random Cartoons came to be from shorts such as Adventure Time. Adventure Time was one of the shorts that was on Random Cartoons. Then Cartoon Network picked it up because it was, again, a fan favorite. Then I believe Fanboy and Chum Chum was one of the shorts. Now that's a successful Nickelodeon show. And Bravest Warriors. That was also a short on Random Cartoons, and now that's a popular web series on Cartoon Hangover. And also, we lost Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar, well, we really didn't lose him. It's just that Phil Lamar he is a great voice actor. He voiced numerously a bunch of great voices of Cartoon Network. He voiced Wilt on Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. He voiced Jack of Samurai Jack. He voiced Evil Con Carne, or Hector Con Carne in Evil Con Carne, and Billy and Mandy. He voiced Hector Con Carne, and he hasn't done a voice for Cartoon Network since the original, what's it called? Since the 3D animated Star Wars The Clone Wars series, because he voiced Kit Fisto in there. After that, he hasn't done a voice for Cartoon Network since. It's ridiculous because, we have so many original programming opportunities, we just choose not to pick them, and he was one of the great voices, and, we lost him because, again, we don't have very much original programming. We don't have any voices for him to do because there's a lack of original programming. I don't know if I already said this, but Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator of Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack and Star Wars The Clone Wars, or he directed the original Star Wars The Clone Wars 2D show/movie. We lost him to Sony, and yeah, I already did say this. He went to Hotel Transylvania. We still have been waiting for a Samurai Jack film. We still haven't gotten it. But this kind of leads me into the next topic, which is blocks. And the first block I want to talk about is Cartoon Planet. Cartoon Planet, I think, is amazing. There's a lot of the cartoons that I honestly idolized and loved during my childhood. And I guess I only have one problem with this block. I'll just kind of explain to you. I'll explain it to you in this way. So basically, recently Cartoon Network started to put shows on Cartoon Planet, such as Tom and Jerry Tales, Scaredy Squirrel, and Almost Naked Animals during the Cartoon Planet block. I guess this kind of made me facepalm. unfortunately, Cartoon Planet is a block that is basically supposed to air classic cartoons that never walk the surface of Cartoon Network again. Um, I remember I actually got this quote from the original promotional video. They had like a little promotional promo for a yeah, they had a promotional video for the how do you say this, the revival of Cartoon Planet. Breck and Zorak, they're the hosts from Space Coast to Coast, but um, what's it called? They host Cartoon Planet, and in the promo they said, "Do you like to watch classic cartoons? Well, you're in luck, because that's what we're dishing up and feeding to you on Friday nights." Honestly, I don't know if you'd call Almost Naked Animals a classic. I don't know if you'd call it a older classic cartoon. They already air those Canadian cartoons during the day. I only get 1 hour to watch my classic cartoons a week. Friday night from 7 Eastern to 8 Eastern. No, it's 8 Eastern to 9 Eastern. I basically just want to say that it's just ridiculous that they have to... like, it wasn't like this for the whole year of 2012. They just started recently adding these in. I only get 1 hour a week to watch my classic cartoons, but we have to share that space with shows that aren't classic, shows that already aired during the other times during the week. It's just ridiculous. Like, Cartoon Network, they used to be all 24/7. Now we have Adult Swim. Well, we've had it for a while, since like 2001. But Adult Swim lasts now from 9 o'clock Eastern at night till 6 o'clock Eastern in the morning. You see, like, we have a very limited time to watch our favorite cartoons. Why do they have to air stupid shows like this during our classic cartoon block? I don't really like this at all. When they already aired, these shows at times during the week, and I only get 1 hour a week to watch my classic cartoons, I get mad. I feel that they should bring back Cartoon Network Fridays more than anything. Whether it airs current cartoons or reruns of older shows, I just want it back. Whether they bring Tommy and Tara back, or if they just have it like... I'd prefer either to be Tommy and Tara again, or if they'd have it Cartoon Fridays. Like, where they have an individual character from just one of the shows host the Fridays for the night, and just, say, first we have regular show, next we have Adventure Time, only on Cartoon Network. Like, that's what Blue used to do from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends during some of the bumpers. Now they don't do that anymore. They just have, like, those two guys that read the bumpers, or they just have, like, just a silent bumper or something with a bunch of music. It's just, I liked it when the cartoons used to interact with the viewer, so that they could not only be exclusive to their TV show, but they'd also air at other times during the day. Well, at other times besides just the show. But, for Cartoon Network Fridays, I used to stay up late every Friday night watching cartoons until I fell asleep. Sometimes I'd even pull off all-nighters watching Cartoon Network Cartoon Network Fridays. I want it back. It's like I had something to look forward to after a hard week of school, I guess. Because, even though I was younger when this was on and school wasn't as difficult as it is now, I really did adore Cartoon Network Fridays. But, this generation that we're living in right now, they can't experience the same memories that I did. And they can't relive, and I can't, nor the 90s kids can't relive those memories that we used to have. We can't relive those because, Cartoon Network doesn't want to make a change. they need to make a change. We need, our nostalgia. We can't just leave. Cartoon Network can't just push all those shows. Just keep them in the media library, but not use them at all, and just keep on making new shows and keep on airing acquired programming, but just keep those shows dusty inside their media library. It's just, and all of the cartoons that on the Cartoon Fridays, all the cartoons did interact with each other from different shows, and Cartoon Planet's only 1 hour. I normally want to watch Cartoon Planet, but I never remember that it's on. It's just on so late at night that I'm just doing something. I'm like, oh, dang it, I forgot. Cartoon Planet's on. And I think it should just be all night like Fridays. Like, Adult Swim really has nothing to do on Friday nights. Why can't they just have it all Friday? Another block, DC Nation. I haven't watched that in months because they got rid of. I believe that they got rid of Green Lantern, and I know that they canceled Young Justice. I know that they're getting Beware the Batman, but they can't just have a block for like an hour and call that a block. That's more of just like 2 new shows. If they want it to be a block, they need to incorporate more new things into it. Like maybe air like a movie, or maybe air some Batman Brave and the Bold reruns. Maybe some Justice League. I might turn back to watch DC Nation when Beware the Batman airs, but again, I don't think it's long enough. And as for like on Monday night currently, they air all the new shows like Adventure Time, regular show, Gumball, and I also believe that they have Annoying Orange. But I believe that they should change those to Friday nights. Cartoon Network Fridays. Gotta miss it. And as for the flicks, if you know what the flicks is, it's basically on weekend nights. They at night, from like 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern, they air a movie or something like that. I think the flicks is getting kind of old now. Every weekend on the flicks, it feels like it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's just like repetitive. It's either like, Diary of a Wimpy Kid or some DreamWorks movie like Shrek or whatever. Surf's Up. That's not DreamWorks, but just like one of those movies. Just a movie that like everyone's already seen and they have it on DVD, but they don't want to watch it. Yeah. And plus they air the same movie Saturday and Saturday night, which is ridiculous. Like, I understand that you might feel sympathetic, Cartoon Network, for someone that might not be able to watch it on Saturday, so they might air it on Sunday. But what about the majority of people that most likely have this DVD of the movie that's on right now and they don't care to watch it and they just want cartoons? I just want to tell you a little bit of story. On Saturday night, I remember I was sitting in my room. I had the TV on. I was I was responding to comments, and Surf's Up. It's a movie with like penguins surfing and stuff. It was on Cartoon Network on Saturday night, and yesterday, which was Sunday, the day after Saturday, I was eating dinner at my table, and I turned the TV to Cartoon Network, and guess what I saw? I saw Surf's Up. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying that Surf's Up is bad, but I already saw it the previous night, and I don't want to watch the same movie 2 nights in a row. Because I do watch Cartoon Network, I don't want to, see the same thing 2 times in a row if I've already seen it. Rather than airing the movie twice, they can just, air it once Saturday night, and then open up a time slot on Sunday to air more reruns of older cartoons. It's, they got to problem solve. Cartoon Network is always complaining that they have no time to air reruns, but they need to realize common sense and problem solve to make their viewers happy. I just honestly think that's the truth. And as for programming during the day, Johnny Test. For the last 2 years, I come home from school. I my school ends at 2:30. I get off the bus at 3. I go inside, have a snack, turn on my TV. There's Johnny Test. As of this recording, which is July 1st, 2013, they are still airing Johnny Test reruns at 3 p.m. on weekdays. Johnny Test is constantly on, and when I come home from school, I don't want to watch any more Johnny Test. Even not at 3 o'clock, they still air even more Johnny Test episodes throughout the day. You know, they have 4 seasons on Netflix. I think they might even have the full series on Netflix. And I do enjoy some Johnny Test episodes like Johnny Kart Racing and Johnny Mon. I actually do have a DVD of Johnny Test sitting right up on my shelf. I was thinking about getting another one, but like that DVD has the older episodes. But anyways, for the most part, the show bores me. It's just kind of boring to me now. I feel like, again, they've expanded the idea a little bit too far now. I don't get why they keep on renewing it. Like, if it's on and there's nothing else that's good that's on, I'll most likely keep it on. Like, I don't think it's really that bad, but Cartoon Network airs it too much. Like, during most of the 2000s, which is like 2003 to 2008, Cartoon Network was still airing reruns of shows that had already ended. Like, let me think. They were airing full reruns or full half-hour reruns. Like, they just didn't have, like, a stupid Cartoon Network or Cartoon Planet thing. Like, well, first of all, I'm not saying that I want them to air, or I'm not telling them that they want to stop Cartoon Planet. I'm saying that I want them to extend it and get rid of all those Canadian shows on it. Because the majority of Cartoon Network viewers do not like Almost Naked Animals and Scary Squirrel. But what I have to say is that Cartoon Network during like the early 2000s, 2003 to 2008, they were still airing reruns of shows that were already ended, like full half hours of reruns of shows, not just like little 15-minute clips on a block. Full half hours of shows like Courage or Dexter's Lab that had already ended in the early 2000s. And surprisingly, I haven't seen Chowder and Flapjack since they ended. Like, since their last episodes. And they recently ended a few years ago. These aren't on Boomerang because they did end very recently. I also have to say, Boomerang only does air, is intended to air older shows that have already ended, not shows that have just recently ended. What I don't like is that Boomerang now is starting to lose its, motto. Boomerang's motto is, it's all coming back to you. I've been watching Boomerang since, it premiered in 2001, or since it launched in 2001, or, no, it was 2000. Yeah, it launched in 2000, but, I've been watching Boomerang for a long time. It used to only be just, older cartoons like Pink Panther, The Perils of Penelope Pitstop, whatever her name is, The Smurfs, The Snorks, And then they started airing Dexter's Laboratory. Not mad by that. I'm actually pretty satisfied with Boomerang's schedule right now, but they actually started to air recently, a few years back, new episodes of Ben 10 Omnitrix, or not, Ben 10 Omniverse. They started to air new episodes of Ben 10 Omniverse that haven't even aired on Cartoon Network yet, like premieres. Like, why would they air brand new shows like that haven't even aired on Cartoon Network yet? Same with Johnny Test. They did the same thing. They were going to think about airing Johnny Test on Boomerang with new episodes that haven't aired on Cartoon Network yet. The motto is, it's all coming back to you. How's it all coming back to you if it, either it just came back to me or it hasn't even come to me yet? It's just ridiculous. Oh my god. And Cartoon Network should rerun these shows because there might be some people that might want to watch them. Chowder has only released 2 DVD volumes, and Flapjack Flapjack was supposed to release 2, but they only released 1 because of the show's cancellation. And you know, they might have these whole series on iTunes, but it's more convenient and it's more collectible to own a show on DVD or Blu-ray rather than having a digital copy of it. But honestly, Boomerang is looking really good to me right now. Every weeknight, Boomerang airs back-to-back Teen Titans, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Foster's Home for My Imaginary Friends, Dexter's Laboratory, a few more shows from like 4 in the afternoon until midnight. So it's almost like Cartoon Fridays every weeknight on Boomerang. I just think that they should air more older reruns of, or I think that they should air more reruns of older Cartoon Network cartoons on Cartoon Network because for most cable providers that I know of, Boomerang is only a part of like the digital cable package with like thousands of channels. And I know a lot of people just have like the standard 80 channel package. Um, Boomerang is only a part of that for most of the cable providers I know of, and I know a lot of people can't afford that because of how expensive it is. And I have Boomerang, but I know some people that aren't as fortunate as I am, and Cartoon Network needs to acknowledge that, honestly. But again, like Dealing Orange, as it switched from online to Cartoon Network, like how Johnny Test left the Kids WB to Cartoon Network, I think the main ideas for the shows have been expanded too much. Now let me talk about Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes. Do I love Looney Tunes? Yes, I do. Do I think it airs too much? Yes, I do. Like, Looney Tunes is a great show, but don't get me wrong, I think it does air too much on Cartoon Network. It's on from, like... Well, it's not only Looney Tunes, too. It's also, like, Tom and Jerry. They air those shows from, like, 11 in the morning till, like, 2 in the afternoon, and they also have it on at, like... During the school year, they have it on at, like, 6 a.m. or whatever. For, like, a half hour or two. But it's just on too much. Since the launch of Cartoon Network, they've been airing older cartoons like Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry for like these almost over no for over 20 years that Cartoon Network has been available. And the channel Boomerang was established in the year 2000, which was 13 years ago, to play classic cartoons that Cartoon Network used to air because Cartoon Network. This was like Boomerang was established in 2000, which was shortly after like Ed, and Eddie was created. This is when Cartoon Network used to be dominant in its original programming age. This is that time, and they just didn't know what to do because again, Cartoon Network used to only air all of these older shows, such as Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, and they didn't know what to do, so they created Boomerang so that they could air all these shows to the people that still wanted to watch them. Because they were changing up Cartoon Network a lot. So basically, I think that Cartoon Network should move Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry to Boomerang because I haven't seen them on Boomerang once. I love the show, but I feel that everyone has at least seen like 30 episodes of that show in the past year. I think, they have most of it, or if not the whole collection of Looney Tunes on DVD and VHS. I don't even know why they do air it, if they air it live on TV, when you can just go buy it at the store and watch it for as long as you want to, for as much as you want to. Looney Tunes is an older cartoon that mostly, I guess, attracts the adults within the ages of like 20 to 80. Looney Tunes is something that those ages would enjoy, and those adults have work during the week. Us children and teenagers have summer vacation nationwide. I don't know, why do they air these why do they air this show when there's kids at home that want to see their favorite cartoons? Some kids might not like all these older cartoons. I honestly do enjoy these older cartoons, but they get boring when they are on again constantly, over and over and over again. because they already do air Looney Tunes. And plus, not only to the original Looney Tunes, they also have the Looney Tunes show, which is the newer rendition of Looney Tunes, which they already do air several times a day. During the whole month of June, they just aired nonstop Looney Tunes and Looney Tunes show. It's just been like an over obsessive amount of Looney Tunes. But if they did if they did move Looney Tunes to Boomerang, this would open up more spots for reruns again. That would eliminate time on the time slot for Cartoon Network. So again, that would open up more time so that they could air reruns of other shows like Courage or Dexter's Laboratory. Cartoon Network needs to problem solve. Cartoon Network is only on during the day, so they have limited time to air cartoons. But Boomerang airs cartoons 24/7, 24 hours a day, all day, every day. So why don't they find a spot for it there? And while on this topic, I think that Cartoon Network should move Cartoon Network back up to 10 o'clock Eastern rather than 9. Because it used to be 10 o'clock, it used to go up to 10 o'clock Eastern every night, but now it only goes up to 9. Because when I was younger, I used to stay up till 10 watching cartoons, then woke back up at 6 in the morning and watched even more. Now it's just till 9. A lot, if not most, of the Cartoon Network audience are teens and adults. So why don't they extend it so that we have some time to watch cartoons? Some teens do prefer Cartoon Network cartoons over King of the Hill, which airs at 9/10. I'm not saying King of the Hill is bad, I'm just saying that some people prefer, or if not most people prefer, that watch Cartoon Network, prefer Cartoon Network cartoons over King of the Hill. And I'm not saying that Adult Swim is bad. Actually, when I'm going to bed, while I'm trying to fall asleep, I watch American Dad and Family Guy. But they should give us some more time to watch cartoons. Like Teen Nick, they have all the 90s block, or all that 90s block thing. I think it's on Saturday nights on Teen Nick, where they just air the whole night nonstop from like 7 o'clock at night till like 7 o'clock in the morning. They just air nonstop 90s Nickelodeon classic stuff like all that, Legends of the Hidden Temple, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, all that stuff. Why can't Cartoon Network incorporate something like that? Honestly. But, what was I going to say? As for the holidays, I've been upset with Cartoon Network's holiday specials. Because, actually, yesterday I checked my TV Guide schedule for the 4th of July, and it's this Thursday, and it's all The Amazing World of Gumball. Again, I just facepalmed. They've already released 2 or 3 and counting Gumball DVDs, and that's not... Gumball isn't that bad. I actually used to be... Gumball used to be my favorite TV show. I don't really like it that much anymore. But, it's not that bad, but it already airs 3 or 4 back-to-back episodes every day. Again, I used to like it, but it just airs so much now, and it's so repetitive that, I just don't like it that much anymore. I remember when I was younger, there was a 4th of July celebration with the exclusive bumpers and promos from the characters of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and Blue and Mac were the hosts. And it just aired Foster's Home and Courage and more, and all these great cartoons, just great cartoons all day. Now they're just having nonstop Gumball from 6 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night with nothing else. Well, I think they're actually having a movie at night, but it's just, I just think Cartoon Network needs variety. I used to love all those Christmas specials where they aired Christmas-themed episodes and had promos for the specials with a song featuring all of the cartoon characters singing, and they had previews of the specials. Gosh, just brings back a lot of good memories. I wish that they had those back, but as for movies, Cartoon Network needs to make more movies. Recently they had Fire Breather, which is basically just a TV to DVD movie. It was just a TV and then it was straight to DVD movie. They aired it once or twice. I didn't watch it. I didn't really think it was going to look that good. It was CGI. But also, they've made several movies and specials for the Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home, Billy and Mandy, a lot more other cartoons, but I think that they should make more movies and specials for current shows, like regular show, and slash or Adventure Time, and they also should definitely release some good movies, like Ed, Edd n Eddy the Big Picture Show and Foster's Home, Destination Imagination on DVD. And also, they haven't had a movie theater release since the Powerpuff Girls movie because it had bad ratings. Honestly, I really did enjoy that movie. It's one of my favorite Cartoon Network movies of all time. And I guess some of the parents thought it was too violent or something like that. But I've been waiting for a Samurai Jack movie since 2008 when the series just stopped. They haven't done anything with the series yet. Jendy Tartakovsky has been saying that he's been promising us a movie, and I think he's trying to work with it. I think he's going to try to make it a 2D movie. But I guess it'd kind of be hard, though, because not only is he now with Sony, so it'd be hard with the rights and stuff, but the voice actor that played Aku passed away, so it's going to be hard to find a good replacement. Hopefully the replacement isn't going to be as bad as the one that replaced Dookie recently for Johnny Test. But overall, though, I understand that they are attempting to make us happy with another season of Totally Spies, Cartoon Planet, and Toonami revivals, the release of Dexter's Removal, and a CGI Powerpuff Girls special coming soon, but I'm not entirely satisfied. I just also want to say that they should make more crossover specials, like if you've ever seen The Grim Adventures of K&D, there was a crossover special between Billy and Mandy and the Codename Kids Next Door. It also featured Ed, Edd n Eddy in it. That's like one of my favorite Cartoon Network episodes ever. One of my favorite episodes that has ever aired on Cartoon Network. It was amazing. Billy and Mandy, Codename Kids Next Door, and Ed, Edd n Eddy in one episode. It was crazy. But I have so much more to talk about on Cartoon Network programming and such. But I don't want this rant to last 2 weeks. So comment below if you want more rants like this, and I can also do some Boomerang and Adult Swim ones. But I'm not done yet. That was only the first section. We're on to our next section, which is Boomerang, or not Boomerang, Next topic is bumpers, promos, and the era. Honestly, I hate the Check It era. I did not think that it was that bad when it came out, but it's just been on here for so long, 5 years, and now I'm getting sick and tired of it. Again, just the repetitive point of it. That's why, just things are so repetitive now. Now that I haven't seen things that I haven't seen in a while, I want them back because they haven't been on in a while, and it's just repetitive. Like, to the point where you see something way too much. Like, honestly, I haven't seen older cartoons now to the point where if I watch them for a whole day, I will not get sick of them. If I watch them for a whole month, I will not get sick of them. I freaking ate up the Cartoon Network 20th Anniversary special. I watched classic cartoons all day, every day. But, I'm just sick and tired of the Check It era. Cartoon Network has changed some of the art styles and bumpers this summer to keep it new. But again, honestly, I just think it's all repetition. I'm tired of seeing new bumpers of, Cartoon Network characters eating each other while swirling. And, just all this. Cartoon Network's trying to stay cool with the younger generation. I saw that new Cartoon Network summer video and artwork about a month ago. Some people called it a rebrand. It's not a rebrand, it's just new artwork to add on to it. It gave me like a headache when I saw all the flashing neon light colors moving in like fast motion. And since I am a fan of like that electro dubstep music, I did enjoy the music of the music video. But by the way, this art and these new bumpers, it's not a rebrand, like I said. It's just some new stuff to add on to it because I still see the Check It bumpers and the Web Check bumpers all the time, like where they just say Web Check. And like I said, all these new bumpers with Gumball's dad dancing and singing that song, I just find it a little bit annoying. Like, it's just annoying where it's just this like cool dad or whatever, and Gumball's dad is outside a grocery store singing like, oh, 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 oh. And it just goes on for like 2 minutes. I'm just like, oh my god, it's so annoying. You know, I don't get how kids find that funny these days. It's just, but Cartoon Network is getting so annoying now that I have to mute my speakers when I go to CartoonNetwork.com because of all the noise. Like, I just hear like a bunch of music and bouncing effects. It's just like all these new bumpers and promos seem very boring and repetitive. And as for the era, I'm so tired of the Check It era. I love the Yes era after the Cartoon Network City era, where like Fred Burger was like yes, and Blue was like only on Cartoon Network, and then Fred Burger was like yes. And then there was also the Nudes era, or the CN Paint era, where they had all of those weird figurine things that looked like the characters. But for most of all, Cartoon Network City was my favorite. It had all the cartoons interacting with each other in a big 3D city. It was kind of like animated like Gumball, because all the characters were like 2D, but it was in a 3D environment. But just seeing the characters interact was my favorite part. Just seeing the Codename Kids Next Door walk into a store that had a sign with plank on it that said 2x4 planks, and seeing them carry out planks was amazing. Seeing Ed, Dexter, and Number One, aka Nigel Uno, try to help Professor Utonium open up his car after leaving a grocery store, it was just amazing. But these were like the best bumpers any kid could ask for. They were just flat out amazing. Like that 20th anniversary music video gave me chills. Like where Samurai Jack, Finn, Mac, just to name a few, all those characters riding on Lady Rainicorn, and then they have at the end a big dance party where like Laszlo's dancing next to Jake from Mike's and Partners of Monkey, and seeing like what's it called, Ben 10 changing all these aliens, and Muscle Man shaking all these cars, and Pop's going jolly good show. That was just amazing. It gave me chills. It was amazing. But again, even those bumpers last year, if you don't remember, Cartoon Network aired these new bumpers where like they had them in a movie theater, and they had like Mordecai and Rigby sitting next to Gumball and Finn. It just gave me nostalgic feels, and it reminded me so much about my childhood. But the only problem is, if they ever bring back Cartoon Network City, the only problem that they have is original programming, yet again. Original programming. What the problem is about original programming is that currently Cartoon Network has 4 original cartoons. And it would make one big city into a very lonely and abandoned city if it only featured characters from 4 shows. Like, honestly, they could add some new things onto the Cartoon Network city. Like, maybe they could add on, like, a little addition, Land of Ooh. Maybe they can add in, like, the park. Maybe Gumball Watterson's house. They could really still do a lot to Cartoon Network City. And, as I remember, Cartoon Network only had very, very, very few acquired shows in the city. The only one that I remember that was acquired was Totally Spies. That's the only acquired show that I remember being featured in the Cartoon Network City bumpers and stuff. I just remember it being like Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi and Powerpuff Girls and just, all those cartoons. But, I just think that that's the problem. Like, it'd be a very abandoned city. As I remember, it just didn't have any acquired shows. This is why Cartoon Network should bring back older cartoons to interact with new cartoons. Start airing more reruns. Make us more happy. Cartoon Network City should no longer be an abandoned ghost town, and it should be again populated with the best cartoons on the planet. Next section, merchandising. Cartoon Network has already released many DVDs for its current programs. As I remember, they have like 5 DVDs for Adventure Time and counting, with seasons 1 and 2 on DVD and Blu-ray. They have like 3 or 4 regular show DVDs and counting, with seasons 1 and 2 coming out on Blu-ray. They have 2 or 3 and counting Gumball DVDs. And I'm pretty sure that they've released like every Ben 10 episode on DVD, and they also have like the first season of DVD, plus a few other, like 3 other volumes of The Annoying Orange on DVD. It's just, if they're going to do so good to the newer generation, why can't they keep the 90s kids satisfied? The only effort I see being put forth is the Cartoon Network Hall of Fame DVDs. If you don't know what those are, they're just like these DVDs where they feature like 4 different shows and 1 volume DVD from each show. But I think we need more. We only have 2. In the US, we never had DVDs of some Cartoon Network shows that were really good, like Mike Jim Partner's a Monkey, Camp Lazlo, or The Life and Times of Juniper Lee. We didn't have any of those DVDs in the US, but we did in Australia. We need more releases of older cartoons. Not everybody has a multi-region DVD player or Blu-ray player. Nor does anyone want to buy things from Australia. Well, it's just like a long time for shipping, a lot of money. I'm not saying that they don't want to buy anything from Australia. Australia is awesome. But again, we need more releases of older cartoons, or at least an amount that is equivalent to that is what is today's cartoons. They really need some more Cartoon Network Fridays and Hall of Fame season sets. But I really want them to release more Cartoon Network Christmas and Halloween DVDs. But again, this will be very, very hard because of a lack of original programming. Like all those other ones used to have, like Conan and Kids Next Door and Billy and Mandy. We don't have those anymore. We only have 4 shows. You can't have a DVD with 4 shows on it. But there's also like all these action figures and board games and several posters and shirts for Ben 10 and Adventure Time. But there were only a few shirts, or maybe a DVD or 2 for most of the classic shows. I felt like I needed to get that out. Also, this is the last section, which is miscellaneous. First, I'd like to talk about the Cartoon Network Amazon. If you don't know what the Cartoon Network Amazon is, it is a upcoming water park that is going to be opening this year in Thailand. It is entirely Cartoon Network themed. It's basically going to be like a big Cartoon Network city with a water park as the main attraction. There's going to be like a Ben 10 themed water slide. They're going to have like a lazy river, all this stuff. They're even going to feature like older cartoons like Johnny Bravo and Foster's Home, because I think that those shows are still airing in Thailand. But what I have to rant about is that they're not doing anything like this in the United States. In Disney, or in the United States, they have Disney World, Disneyland. They have the Nickelodeon Suites in Orlando. They don't have nothing for Cartoon Network. Nothing. Why can't they do it in the United States, especially where the United States is where Cartoon Network originates and where it has the biggest fan base? And lastly, I want to talk about Stuart Snyder. I feel that we need him to step down, and I feel like we need a new leader that knows what he's doing and will make his fans happy rather than Ted Turner happy. Well, that will make the viewers happy rather than just like the ratings and the Nielsen ratings and Ted Turner happy. But that's basically it, guys. And the comment question today is, what is your favorite Cartoon Network show of all time? Mine is Camp Lazlo. But if you want more, or also comment below if you want more Cartoon Network rants or Boomerang or Adult Swim rants or whatever. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.